Let's see some of the things you have to do after you have your used car to make sure that you enjoy that vehicle for a very long time, irrespective of the amount that you purchase it. It's not necessarily the matter, but how you can keep it very firm so that you have to enjoy that vehicle very well. So number one thing here is that you have to make sure that you check that lower arm bushing, right? So you have to change it on time. So the bushing is make the bushing and the ball joint. Obviously that ball joint over here, we call it a ball joint. So they hold the lower control arm. So the lower control arm, what does it do? It makes sure that it hold your vehicle very firm to avoid any unbalancing. Obviously, if you are driving and you see that your vehicle is going left and right, the tire is shaking, especially on the rough road or on the ramp, make sure that you check that lower arm bushing. It's a bushing. So normally it's a rubber that is fixed inside the metal. So that metal normally doesn't get spoiled. But sometimes, based on the recommendations of the mechanic, you may go for a complete new one, or you just buy the bushy and then what fix it inside the lower arm. And then the same applies to the ball joint, obviously. So this way you are going to be very firm on the road. The link bar, the stabilizer link bar, the small one like an antenna, right? So that small one over there, what it does that is that it holds on the sway bar. This is that bar, the bar over there. So that bar, the link bar hold the sway bar. So it hold it from the left to right. So that's the front wheel. So from the left to right, what does it do? So that to avoid any unshaking. Have you seen maybe when you are driving and then you see the notice one thing you have to notice about or when you have to determine that the sway bar is very bad is when your tire is uneven wear, right? So it means that maybe one tire of the side is worn out while the other side is not worn out. That is the signs of what the bad link bar. So you have to change that to have your car very firm. So with the steering rack, obviously you can see the steering rack, the brand new one, the long one from the left. So the steering rack is very simple and straightforward to do. What does it do? It makes sure that it gives you what you want. What I mean by that is that the direction in which you want your vehicle to move to. If in your vehicle you are driving, or maybe the first time you are buying a used car, you see that when you turn the steering to the left, it forces you to the right, or when you turn it to the right, it brings you back to the center, or when you are turning it, it's very hard. Then that is a sign that your steering rack is very bad. You have to make sure that you change that. Most of the recent steering rack that we are having, they are power steering. What I mean by the power steering, unlike the olden days or some years ago, they normally use motor and the oil. But now in the modern world, it has been changed to electronics one to make the steering very easy. So if you are turning, the steering is very hard, or you are hearing noise at one place, it means that your steering rack is very bad. You have to opt for what another brand new one. So this way you can save money on your vehicle, and then you are not going to experience any noise under your vehicle, right? And then the steering and the wheel tire are going to be straight and very firm. That way when you are driving without any fear. So those are some of the things you have to pay a very close attention to when you are buying a used car, or if you have a used car, you have been using a used car, how to maintain it properly to avoid any extra costs or any damage even to your own life, right? So that's one of the things that you have to pay very close attention and make sure that the mechanic, you have a trust in your mechanic, right? So that's everything very firmly with the required according to the manual, right? According to the manual. That is very important. If you're enjoying this video, why don't you subscribe to this channel? So this video is for the under, right? So the under, what I mean by the under here, that is for the suspension. So the under, any noise, any other thing. Our next video maybe could be something on the engine, how to maintain your car, your used car engine very properly, right? So used cars are not very bad. They are not bad in some way, right? So others too are very bad. So that is why you need to subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about some of the use kind of brand new kind of how to maintain your vehicle properly. You see that shocks over here? You see this is the shocks absorber. So what's the importance of the shocks absorber here? That is another thing. You see, this is very shocks. What does it do? It makes sure that when you bounce up, you come back into your normal position, right? So that is the point here. When you go back, maybe especially over ramp, when you are riding on a high speed, this shocks keeps you what unstable in your driver's seat. Have you seen? That is one thing. If you bounce on a ramp and then it doesn't what come back, your shocks is very bad. Or you jump on a ramp, you hear boom, then your shock is at fault. Have you seen? That's a tie rod end. So this tie rod end holds what one side of what the hub, the wheel tie, right? So the wheel tie, that is what is very, very important. And then the back one too, the back at the back, you just make sure that you check your shock absorber, or you can change those things to a very brand new one, right? So very brand new. So this way, if you do this, you are not going to spend much money in the long run.